And we are live on the SideQuest Live, where we are going to talk all about video games on this wonderful Friday evening, free evening.
Free evening.
Wow.
And maybe some other things too.
I was going to say that auto-posted. That's kind of cool because I'm tweeting this video out. It auto-posted the tweet to that too. So we are live on the Twitters, my friends, live on the Twitters. Anyways, hey, I'm Dolly Domofsky, one of your hosts. I was going to say wonderful, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, don't assume.
The other person that I just put up over there is Taylor. Look at how quick that was right up there.
That's me.
Hey.
And then this guy there is JJ Holderhausen. I love it.
That's a wrestling joke, Taylor. Just.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad. Thank you for clarifying. I had no idea what you're talking about.
Correction. It's a wrestling.
It's a wrestling
joke.
All right.
How you guys doing?
It's Friday, end of the week, end of the weekend. Still riding the high from yesterday.
End of the weekend? Did you say? Or
no, end of the week, and still riding the high from yesterday.
What's the yesterday high?
I got the email, man.
That's right.
This is it.
You know what?
I got the email.
This is the infant. Well, I'm not going to steal your thunder. What email did you get? And don't tell me that you're the father or you're not the father. It's something. Well, you kind of are.
Well, I mean, I am the father of my daughter, but I already knew about that. That's not news. What is news is that I got the email from Steam, from Valve,
from Gabe himself.
It's from Gaben. It's not that I can buy my Steam Deck, and I did. And
you bought it. And when's it arriving?
I'm very happy for you.
Oh, thank you, JJ. I do not know yet, Dolly. It's still in the processing. Let me refresh the page. Still, it's moved from processing to shipping soon. So I would assume next week. At some.
You know what would be fantastic?
What's that, Dolly?
If it ships next week.
Yeah.
And it says estimated arrival Wednesday, April 20th.
Guess what, Dolly? My flight isn't until Wednesday night. As long as it arrives before 4 p.m. on Wednesday, I will receive it.
Nice.
If it arrives after that, I will be very sad. But I'll make it.
Taylor will have a Steam Deck. You'll have your Steam Deck. I'll just have my Switch OLED.
But I will say, based on what I've seen on turnaround times, shipping soon, it will probably be less than 12 days for that turnaround time. So yeah, I'm excited about that. It'll be great for the flight. It'll be great for the airport. It'll be great for PAX in general. I'm going to make sure that when I'm around on the show floor and we're talking to devs, I'm going to tell everybody that I have my Steam Deck with me.
Totally try out the.
I'm going to have to make sure that they all know. Make sure that our Steam Deck users are represented. Make sure that they recognize that we're out there. It's important.
It's important.
To be honest. That is a little bit of news because Valve has announced that they've started to kind of speed up some of the Steam Deck.
That's true. They did ramp up. I mean, prior to this, to my knowledge, there was no Thursday kind of notifications that they had. There's no Thursday at all before this. No,
it's like that "birds aren't real" subreddit.
Yeah, basically, Thursday's not real. No, I am not aware of an email alert for the Steam Deck that had gone out on a Thursday before this one. I was aware of them only going out on Mondays. Now, that could be wrong, and if I am, that's fine. Please correct me. But it seems that there has been definitely a shift in terms of greater stock availability starting with the Q2 batches, which is a good sign. So they also put in a 1 month in kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? like looking back at the first month of Steam Deck, not referendum. I forget what the word I'm looking for is. It's in my brain, but it's not. Yeah, not referendum.
We're all voting on the Steam Deck.
On the Steam. One thing that I personally noticed that was really absent from that was the fact was any mention of the dock. So it's this whole long post about here's everything we've done the month. Don't forget it can do all this. The dock wasn't mentioned a single time, which hurt me because I really want the dock for this thing.
I want a dock. I don't know if I want their ugly ass cords everywhere dock, but I want a dock. Yeah, but that's
what dock is there going to be that's not going to have cords everywhere? Unfortunately, it's kind of.
I mean, what I meant was the cord that comes from the top of the Steam Deck and has to wrap. I think eventually they'll figure it out. The next gen Steam Deck, they'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, no, but we don't even know about that. So let's pretend let's focus on the Steam Deck that we have, which is, I mean. Theoretically, in a second Steam Deck, at the even if they leave the port on the top, which I think is fine, the bigger issue is that there's not a second port on the bottom for a dock-like experience where it can just slot in USB-C on the bottom, and then there's ports out the back of a dock. That would be
out the wazoo, as one might say.
Out the wazoo. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's time that I invest in a pretty decent. Like PD rated battery pack, which I do not currently own. Going to PAX, it's my first show in a really long time, and I'm going to need to keep devices charged and stuff like that. So I think a PD power pack is in my inevitable future. But anyway, that's my news. Did anything else happen this week? I'm not aware if it did.
I mean, one thing that did happen was we had to apologize because this week was SideQuesting's 13th birthday. Like Yosemite Sam.
Which the three of us were here for.
Yeah. We were here as well as several viewers and players. We were playing games together. It was a lot of fun on Tuesday. We turned 13 years old. That's crazy to think about. Again, people always wonder, well, why'd you guys start SideQuesting? It was to get into E3. You needed to have a business to get into E3, and we killed it. We outlasted.
Yeah, that's like I say. SideQuesting has outlasted Joystick, which is very depressing.
Yes,
only because SideQuest never got big enough to get bought by weblogs. So
I take it back. Someone did offer me back in the day. I thought I'm kind of done with SideQuesting. This was like after SideQuesting turned 3. I'm like, I'm kind of done. It's a lot of work. Any offers out there? And I'm like, all I want is someone to cover the hosting. And I'm not looking for anything else. And I had a couple folks say, how much is your hosting? I'm like, back then it was like $70 because it was GoDaddy. They go $70. I'm glad I didn't do that because now it's $75 a month instead of the $70 a year that the hosting was before. So you guys are welcome. I'm even more broke now. But SideQuesting turned 13. We've been around for, some might say, too long.
Maybe
others might say, Dolly, you guys are just dumb, which is good too. But in reality, one of the really neat things about SideQuesting is that we've had a lot of folks come through to be writers and content creators and podcasters. A lot of those folks have gone on to gigs, like full-time writing gigs. Like we were at one point, I don't know who it was that talked about it. I don't know if it was Zav or whatever. They used to have this freelancers podcast that a couple and another guy, Kyle, used to have. And they talk about us all the time because, we were kind of doing exactly that. We were sort of this hub for folks that were just trying to learn about writing and make those connections to get better at it and stuff. And we were oftentimes we were considered the minor leagues for places like Joystick, because a lot of our writers ended up having pieces on Joystick. I ended up having a piece on Joystick with my infamous George R.R. Martin
That's right.
Elden Ring, George R. Martin interview about video games, and I
remember that.
I should reread that because he was making a Game of Thrones game, and I think he had absolute minimal input. He had more input in an Elden Ring game than he had in that really bad. This was before the Telltale Game of Thrones game, so the other Game of Thrones game. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a fun 13 years, and here's to 2 more. I don't know. There's no end date to this one.
Just a nice even 15.
Yeah, I can't believe that the clock is ticking and there's only 24 more months.
But it's fun. So cheers. As part of snack questing this week, I decided to hold off on Tuesday and do today. I have vanilla Coca-Cola with coffee that I'm going to try for the first time. I believe it'll probably be horrible. The words Coca-Cola with coffee are horrible enough, but vanilla. I mean, by the way, I'm a Coca-Cola stan. I'm all about the Coke. I'm also a coffee guy. I love coffee. I don't know if the two should work together, especially not with it says vanilla right there. So let's give this a
You're
swig.
going to love it. See?
Interesting. It's not bad. It's definitely vanilla-y. Here's some ASMR for you guys.
There he is hitting the water bomb.
No, that's some slurping.
Yeah.
It's not bad, guys.
What?
The Coke flavor is really diminished, which I'm kind of okay with. I don't taste enough coffee, I'll say, though. It's Coke with coffee, but you don't taste enough of the coffee. I think it needs just a little bit more coffee ratchet up. But I'm surprised that it's actually not bad. Okay, JJ, you were right. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, here's I will say one thing is that I would be astonished at this point if the Coca-Cola company at this point would release something that anybody would think that's disgusting.
They have a lot of those right now because they go through. What was it? During the holidays they have cinnamon Coke and it is trash. It tastes like you're drinking potpourri water.
There was that they already did the Coke thing like a decade ago with Coke Black, and that was terrible.
True. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of those initiatives are specifically done.
What's the new one that they have? The Pixels one. They're doing that.
Oh yeah, the Pepsi is it? Yeah, the Pixels one. That's right.
Yeah, because they just did the Starlight one, and now they're going to do like taste the pixels. This is what a computer.
I'm gonna lick my screen and taste the.
Is this just fellow kids shit?
This is fellow kids shit. Yeah. But yeah. Hey, so why did I upload these? Okay, I'll figure it out.
Really planned ahead.
I'm really planning ahead. Let's look at some other news here. I was
going to say I know what news that came out this week that I was super fucking stoked about.
I think I know what you're going to go ahead.
Return to Monkey Island.
That's what I was going to post. That's what I was going to say. So let me share
the big news.
Ron Gilbert back.
Is this it?
And this is
for me.
Is this still it? I think that's what we'll call this. Is this still it?
This was kind of big.
Yeah. This was exciting.
It was very cool because didn't Ron Gilbert on like April Fool's on that actual day say I'm working on a new game and everyone's like, yeah, that was a good one. Good one.
And then you have Devolver saying, no, actually.
Actually, sorry, shitty timing, but yeah, he actually is working on a new Monkey Island. So return to Monkey Island.
So this is basically going to be Monkey Island 3. Like, it takes place after the second game. Kind of erasing every Monkey Island after the second one. So,
this is
hell yeah.
The hero is Guybrush, Monkey Island 3 Wood.
No, okay.
See?
Yeah.
This is because it's the real monkey.
Yeah, no, I got it. And it's the third worst monkey joke I've ever heard.
True. Also true. But yeah. So it's due this year.
Yeah. Excited. I'm genuinely excited.
Not really beyond. I'm gonna turn this audio. Not really beyond what you're kind of seeing here. I really dig this art style.
Yeah. Angular. I like it.
Angular. It reminds me of a lot of the stuff that you find in what is that game like? Guacamelee.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of that. It's kind of cool. I do like it. Terrible Toy Box. They did what was that the adventure game that came out on Switch and some other things that another anyways, they've been making adventure games through this company and
Thimbleweed Park.
Thank you. Thimbleweed Park, which is great, by the way.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed.
Yep.
So yeah, the Return to Monkey Island, man, awesome this year.
Yeah, I'm all in.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it. I'm returning to Monkey Island.
It still feels like a little crazy that it's actually that's real. To be honest.
It really does feel like Monkey Island was just going to be one of those games that, like, they got some other stuff out, like, you know, they had a Telltale series kind of thing or whatever, but Monkey Island is just a nostalgic franchise now. It's just we're just going to re-release it till we're blue in the face every once in a while, but no, here's a whole all new one in the classic style 2D point and click adventure. Yeah, fuck yeah.
I couldn't be happier. I love me some adventure games,
and it's really cool to see the Lucas film logo.
I would, I mean, so I didn't actually watch this trailer, and I saw the Lucasfilm logo. I was like,
What's cool? Very cool. It's very cool. Like I said, I've been playing. I play adventure games on my Switch because I think this form factor is fantastic for like adventure games. I really wish there were more like platforms that were similar to it, but there just aren't. Switch is the only one like it.
It's the only one,
The only one like
it. And it's too bad that, like, you know, you think about how many Steam games you buy, and it's like, fuck, I can't play any of them. I can't play any of them like this. The worst.
Maybe one day.
Maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though.
Another game that's coming back in sort of the swashbuckling way, because Monkey Island has some swashbuckling, is this one that I'm going to share right now. Our good friends at Crystal Dynamics said they have a brand new Tomb Raider coming on Unreal Engine 5.
Well, speaking of, that was kind of a big announcement that we didn't talk about since last week too, which was that Unreal had their big showcase, which they announced. They showcased Unreal Engine 5, and then announced that it is now under public release for developers.
Yes.
You know, I emphasize public release because whenever you have a bunch of developers that are also on the showcase saying, here's the demos that we did, you know that they've already had access to it for X amount of time. We don't know exactly, but
you boot up the Epic Game Store right now. It tells you you've got access to Unreal Engine 5. Like, do what you want.
But anyway, that's still a big deal. Unreal Engine 5 has an incredible amount of lighting capabilities, shading capabilities, and some other technologies to it that I'm not informed well enough to talk about it intelligently.
It's got lighting capabilities, shading capabilities, and lighting and shading capabilities.
Thank you, Dolly. You really illustrated something that I didn't describe, and I appreciate that. And anyway, so like it has a lot of stuff that, you know, for small studios and just, you know, solo developers are stuff that you know, maybe they could have gotten from Unity, but you know, that's why we need a little bit of extra competition out there to help that stuff along. And UE5 is now here. Plus, you know, the stuff that AAA devs can put out in terms of showcasing what UE5 is in a brand new engine, I should say, is capable of is really some jaw-dropping stuff, which I'm excited about.
let's see here. Not a whole lot of other news.
I guess the Lego thing, right?
I was gonna mention it. Go ahead.
I don't even know what to even say about it. It's kind of big news in the sense where Lego and Epic teamed up to start their own sort of metaverse collaboration thing. Whatever that may end up being, who the hell knows?
Yeah, but, I mean, here's the thing. Did they say metaverse, or is that just the thing that people are reading into it?
Metaverse.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll give my opinion on it just because we're on a show
we talked about this on the Discord in pretty good depth. So we'll try to recite some of that back.
I mean, here's the thing: is that like Epic Games has been building a metaverse via Fortnite for since 4 months after it got really popular.
Yeah.
The stuff, the integration with Marvel stuff. I mean, every IP that they've ever tried to integrate with, all of it's a quote unquote metaverse play. I mean, I remember in the early seasons, one of the skins that I got when I actually played the game when this is before everybody got really good at building and it was no longer fun for me. There was a John Wick skin that was literally season 2 or something like that.
Yeah, that was a big deal when it was because it was like their first salvo into that market of marketing.
I think it's weird that now to say it's time we're building a metaverse, bro, you've been doing Marvel integrations for 2 years at this point almost. Anyway, Lego is an interesting play for it. I think it fits in well. The question, you're building stuff. Does it change the way that your walls and stuff look? Who knows exactly how it's going to work out. Yeah. I think it makes sense for both parties though.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder. They really focus in their article and their kind of announcement on the kid aspect, right? This is meant for kids. Yeah. It's all about safety. They talk those kind of 3 main bullet points. Let me scroll down here so you guys can see those. There are 3 kind of. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Their 3 bullet points are: protect children's right to play by making safety and well-being a priority, safeguard children's privacy, and empower children and adults with tools that give them control over the blah blah blah. It is.
I didn't see those bullet points before. It almost only because this came up in our discussion on Discord. It actually sounds like a specific rebuttal to Roblox.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I said. It totally is.
Let's be reasonable here.
So when my daughter's been playing Roblox for 3, maybe 4 years now, right? And it started when she first got into it. There weren't a ton of games that were made. They were kind of off the wall stuff. They were. Roblox still has a massive safety and privacy problem. Definitely know that.
The Roblox black market is very powerful.
It really is. But the kind of joy of Roblox for the kids, and I mentioned this in the Discord, is that my daughter plays a bunch of different Roblox games. One of them that's really popular among kids her age is this game called Piggy. And Piggy is a massively popular game where someone tried to make Peppa Pig in Roblox and ended up screwing up so bad they made a Murderous Peppa Pig crossed with Among Us, crossed with Werewolf and a few other things. And it's sort of like this. It's literally murder tag with Peppa Pig characters. I don't, and that is, I hate to say it's the joy of it because obviously you don't want to, but there's some really interesting things you can do with the IP aspect where you're almost almost IP, right? Almost Peppa
Pig. It's just different enough.
It's just different
enough. I really will be interested to see how the Lego IP is integrated because this really does feel like it's not going to be like the Lego stuff that it's got Star Wars, it's got Marvel.
Yeah. So I mean, here's the thing is that when you think about Lego in video games, you think about the IPs that Lego co-ops to create video games with, right?
Or even their weird sub their own IP, Undercover.
Yeah. Right, Undercover, Lego City, and stuff like
that stuff,
Yeah. And I mean, I think that you take the building angle with it. I don't know. I mean, it's also
building angle. Yeah,
I can see them like making the sort of minifigure creator being flexible enough to where you've effectively created whatever the hell you want. Like it is Peppa Pig, the Lego minifigure in some way or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a Lego figure in there as a skin for sure, at the very least. But you think about if you imagine if you've played any Fortnite or if you've seen any footage of Fortnite, you know what a wall looks like in that game. Never. I mean, you haven't, sure, Dolly. You're old. Instead, imagine that wall has Lego bricks on the outside, and if you edit it, it has Lego bricks on the inside. Et cetera, et cetera.
And Lego has a very strict sort of legal and illegal ways to build things. Like there are certain ways that you are not allowed, and they call it illegal. Like if it's like you're not allowed to have these two pieces together.
There is a giant Lego minifig that comes to your house and bashes in your windows with a.
It's
Lego
very scary.
It's terrifying.
I tried to put Batman in the Ecto one, and I still haven't recovered. I'm going to.
You're under
Murderous Lego minifig.
I haven't been allowed. I wasn't allowed to buy a set for like 8 months.
I was gonna say, did they execute the warrant, or are you just still waiting?
There was an execution.
I've got a Lego. They made it themselves in my house, and it is an ankle monitor.
Hold on. JJ, you're not listening to this. Hey Taylor. Lean in real close.
Yeah.
This is actually the second JJ. The first one is the clone. They killed him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, the original JJ. How are you?
I'm wearing the hat so you can't see the nub on top of my head.
The original JJ didn't have a beard. And he had red
oh my god! Imagine
multi JJ verse. Let's play a multi JJ verse.
Oh yeah, this is actually just attached. It's like a collar.
It's just attached.
Yeah.
But I look back at some of the metaverse-ish stuff that Lego's done, like Lego Dimensions. I still have my Lego Dimensions set up there, and I think that's actually kind of cool. That sort of mixed a little bit with the amiibo side, where your minifig is all your data. Your character goes with you wherever you go in every different game that you make within this metaverse. And then I think about the Nintendo Super Mario stuff, which is actually a really cool. It is almost a metaverse in real life because you get all these pieces and they're all electronic. There's a bunch of them have the little reader cards. I don't know. JJ, I'm sure you have a bunch of these. Taylor, I don't know if you have any of these, but no, he doesn't. Nope. I have a lot of them. And it is actually really cool to have Mario. You're building these sets and you're kind of building these worlds and playing and you're collecting coins, all that kind of stuff, and you're upgrading your Mario character.
Super fungible tokens.
Super fun. I love it. Super fungible toadkins. I think they've sort of dabbled in this. They've dabbled in this idea of more than just bricks that you create. They want you to have a sort of a tie and some kind of connection, right? Lego.
And they had that Lego Worlds game.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
but also they want you to buy more bricks.
Like their Minecraft style. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like the opening of this Lego Epic thing is going to be relatively generic.
Yeah,
it's going to definitely be like they're gonna see if it's because they also want you to buy the big tub of Lego bricks.
Yeah, I want you to buy bricks, dog. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Go to their website and buy specific bricks, and then you just because that's the
gold brick that will come out every once in a while.
Yeah,
right?
And
dude, if you're smart.
I hope this collaboration leads to like some Fortnite minifigures because they have some really fun designs. I want the Cheeseburger Man as if
just as an aside, I think that if you're Epic, you play Fortnite season blah 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 where Lego is there and you get a discount code from lego.com or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a marketing man, but that makes sense to me, like in my brain.
Or ready, one season is within a Lego world.
It's at Legoland. You actually have to go to Legoland.
Actually, I could totally see them putting in Legoland as a location within the Fortnite map for sure.
I think there are cool ideas. Lego isn't as big of a brand, unfortunately, as people think it is.
It feels like it's really big, but unfortunately, we're part of the niche already.
We are, exactly.
And I also said this on the Discord where it's like it hyper targets and it succeeds at like the 35 to 55 and even a little bit younger for sure. But the 30 to 55 definitely. It's like, hey, you guys grew up with Lego, and also you already like all the IP that we make the expensive kits for.
Yeah.
So keep buying those.
I definitely got to a Lego store an hour before it opened so I could get the Shield helicarrier from.
Yeah.
It's what's interesting. It's that the great, where'd that go? It's hard to judge what the biggest like toy companies are in the world because you can either by sales, by revenue, by sheer quantity.
Right.
The largest toy company right now on a lot of these charts is MGA because they do all those all the bajillion little dolls that my daughter has. They're bigger than Hasbro. They're bigger than Lego. They do all the stuff like really for young girls is one of their largest brands. The little blind bag stuff. And so they should jump in with, they make really shitty video games, by the way. So just letting you guys know. Anyways, I mean, I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know how successful it'll be. I think it's the kind of thing that's going to take years to build up, but I also see it like, I think you're right, Taylor. It's probably going to start off pretty generic at first until
we'll see
what happens. But
Lego does hold a lot of control over their IP.
That's exactly true,
when it comes into their integration within video games. So
they have expanded. Look, remember they did just announce the thing with 2K to do a bunch of sports games based on Lego, like back in like January or something. January or February.
I did not recall that, so thank you for pointing it out. And also,
SideQuest.com, actually.
I missed that one.
So who? If Epic is Lego, then who is Mega Bloks?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Sony.
What's the Sony?
I like that. Sony is Mega Bloks. That's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to.
And Nintendo is what's the one that I can't? I forget.
Nintendo's Connects.
No, it was what's the really kiddie one? That's like
Duplo. No,
that's not Duplo. It's the one they have.
That's Lincoln Logs.
They have the branded ones too, like Back to the Future and. Playmobil.
That's a good one, actually.
There were like one or two Playmobil movies because they tried to capitalize.
I saw the Playmobil movie.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How bad was it? Terrible.
I am not
because the plot is nonsense.
How do I say that I'm 0% surprised by a thing? I'm not sure how to really say it.
I watch all movies.
You watch all movies. I like that. I watch all movies. Let's move on to instead of watching stuff, playing stuff. And
like what?
JJ and I have been playing some games for review.
Yeah.
But I want to hear from Taylor first. Has Taylor been playing anything interesting whatsoever?
What the fuck? So I will say I don't have anything as interesting as last time when I was talking about Superfuse, but so I knew that I was probably going to get the Steam Deck, and so I actually downloaded the demo for this game before that, and then I was really excited after I got the email for it because I was like, good, I'm glad that I did this. I downloaded the demo for Factorio.
Oh yeah.
And so
SideQuesting a few folks have played it. Yeah.
I don't know if you ever. So, Dally, have you ever played Factorio? No. JJ, you have. I'm guessing by your response. So, Dally, what do you know about Factorio? Hit me.
Nothing.
Okay.
I know that it's about building stuff because the word factory is in it.
Okay. So the idea is there's raw resources in the ground that you can extract. You are given a basic set of recipes at the start, and then the eventual goal, I believe, is that you build a rocket to get off the planet because you crash landed there, and it's an ever increasing complexity from there on. Anyway, so I played the demo because it felt like it would be a really good Steam Deck game. The visual fidelity isn't overly high, but the game complexity is, which is kind of like that really good overlap between the two of them. And let's see, look at the 2020 trailer. I've actually never seen this, but it was, it is the kind of game where, boom, 10 hours of my life gone in an instant. Had no idea what happened. I could not tell you what occurred between hour 0 and hour 10. I don't know what happened, but the time passed.
Just in the demo.
Just in the demo, man. It was crazy. It's an okay demo. I've played games similar to it. I've played what I would call almost a 3D version of it, which is Satisfactory, because I've had that from early access. So I bought Satisfactory, actually never played Factorio, which I don't think is probably that normal, because a lot of Satisfactory is inspired from Factorio.
Look at they're murdering the poor planet. Look at that.
And listen,
I love the animation in this game because it has a very claymation effect to everything.
It almost does.
Really cool.
It's really
six FPS on some things.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, I think it's neat.
It's all really well done. It looks great. Oh my god, the trains just murdered those bugs.
Yeah.
Poor bugs.
And I mean, so you can only a fraction of what you're seeing here is incorporated into the actual game, as you might imagine. It like dug into my brain for 3 days straight, and I just wanted to. I will probably be buying it when it comes. When it comes time for Steam Deck, because it's just one of those kind of games. Like, put your Switch to sleep. Well, okay, time to resume from sleep and just like make as much progress as I can in the interim. I'm excited about Factorio. But anyway, cool. So that was what was worth talking about for me. I think I did. What else? I mean, I still chugging away at Elden Ring. But honestly, that's harder than it originally felt. Elden Ring for me is a much stronger starter than it is a finisher, which probably is a common consensus. I mean, in my opinion, I can't imagine a lot of people felt that differently to it. Sure. But yeah, anyway. It's still a good time. I just need to really push through and finish that game up. But my brain is fully focused on Steam Deck now.
Excellent. Can't think of anything else. Nice.
Nothing.
All right, JJ, do you want to go or do you want me to?
Yeah, because there's not a lot of meat on the bones for this game to really talk about, but it's got just enough content to like make a nice thing for it here. But
all right, I'm gonna hit the add to stream then.
Yeah. This is just I'm not gonna go through it right away, but this has a very specific.
Oh man,
it's professional wrestling, baby. The one topic I know how to talk about more, just as much as comic books.
Right. I mean, what better overlap could there be other than professional wrestling and Neo Geo?
Neo Geo Pocket Color. This is part of their new second wave of Neo Geo Pocket classics. I reviewed all of them previously. They put out a big bundle of all of them. I just got the shipping confirmation for my limited run physical edition of Neo Geo Pocket Color Classics. So there we go. Yeah, this is one that I have never played before.
Well, it's got to be one of the few.
Yeah, and which is wild because it is professional wrestling, but it didn't come out in North America. So.
Oh, okay.
So, and what's this game called?
Big Bang Pro Wrestling.
Awesome. Big Bang Pro
Wrestling. So what wrestlers were featured in it?
The Big Bang ones.
This slideshow is going to go through all of it because they are all generic.
Okay.
But they're clearly based on wrestlers, and that's what the slideshow is.
Gotcha. Wrestlers such as Brian.
Yeah, Brian. So
Brian's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, here's it. So Brian is very clearly just the tough, gruff, mean guy that's like the powerhouse. So he's definitely Bill Goldberg.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
That's clearly what his concept behind him is. You have David, big fat guy that can't climb the turnbuckle. He's very clearly a bit of Big Van Vader and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just look kind of
love it. Rest in peace.
This is 1999, so a lot of these wrestlers were still kind of vaguely active.
We're alive.
Yeah. We're alive, yeah. Next, you have Alex.
Okay.
This one's pretty obvious just by looking at him, what Alex's whole deal is. He's just The Rock, but a white guy.
Got it.
I mean,
he has a little bit of edge to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I like that.
You have Beats. He's a pasty gray man, so obviously that just kind of shambles around. So that's clearly the Undertaker.
Okay.
You have Eagle. Eagle is obviously just from King of Fighters. It's actually not a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I thought you were gonna say it's.
Yeah. You have Show. Again, it's just Joe from King of Fighters. You have Mike here.
Oh, okay. I know who this is gonna be.
Do you? Who's it gonna be, Dally?
Iron.
Guess
Sheik?
it.
What?
Iron Sheik?
No, absolutely not. It's actually just Kurt Angle with Goldberg and Stone Cold.
Way off.
He's a wrestler.
Nice try.
Yeah, it's T-Zock. I forgot to say his name. And this guy, Macy, has kind of an offensive name in like the Japanese one. It's like the Oriental or something. Like, let's not do that. So it's Macy here in English, and it's a Japanese wrestler known as the Great Kabuki.
Cool. Okay, yeah, I see it. All right.
Mm-hmm. This wrestler did. This is the end of this slideshow. Kill it. But so the Great Kabuki did like a green mist, like the Great Muta used to do, but his move set is designed off of. There's also like hidden wrestlers and stuff. There's a hidden female wrestler that's also a manager that unlocks after your save has been in use for a month. Like it's like back in the day when they used to do that kind of
make sure you actually play it.
Yeah. It's a very simple wrestling game because this is back in the day where you had two choices. It was Game Boy or the W64. So this is a 2-button game. It plays a lot like Fire Pro Wrestling in its own way.
Oh, cool.
It's really timing based. It's like, okay, you're gonna push, like B does all of your sort of interactive stuff and A is your attacks. If you push the 2 buttons at the same time when your name's blinking, it does your special move, and everyone has their own special move. I'm gonna ask you to look up a couple of things because I want you to. So this game came out in, let me double check.
They can climb that pole for like a money bag.
Yes, and there's a casket match in it.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. There it is. That's actually kind of cool.
This game's cool. It does stuff because I will show you. This came out in 2000, so I need to see.
Yeah, think about like WWE 2022 and how little and how little it does by comparison. I mean, it's cool.
I need you to look up WWF Attitude for the Game Boy Color.
WWF Attitude for Game Boy.
Yeah, which is a game that came out at around the same time. It would have been 1999 when it came out. So these games came out at around similar times. Just to sort of show you where we were in terms of handheld wrestling games. Because it's the same thing here as it was with like Street Fighter. You put Street Fighter on a Game Boy Color and it like fell apart. It almost but they somehow figured out a way to so here's WWF Attitude for the Game Boy Color. It's everyone is just these really compressed JPEGs.
Love it.
Okay, man.
Man, it's bad.
Yeah. And now now you compare this to what we were looking at earlier, and it's night and day. Like
it looks really bad.
There's no animation. It's like 2 frames of animation for every move. Everyone looks like an action figure. But
yeah, the only thing that you could theoretically claim as an advantage is the fact that it has actual wrestler names to it.
It's a licensed game with stuff. That's really all it has. But then you go back to Big Bang Pro Wrestling, and it's like it's got smooth animations.
It looks so good, but
that was a steel cage match. I know you couldn't tell, but yeah, this game is actually like it feels like a Neo Geo wrestling game. It looks good. And it plays well. Everything, like, look at the animations on this. These came out at the same time. You knocked the referee out. You know, it's none of that stuff was present in a game that came out. As a wrestling fan, this didn't come out in North America. As a wrestling fan, this would have been absolutely incredible. Because the pickings were slim for on the go.
I do like sort of the heaving, that sort of bouncy fighting game aesthetic that they have. It's really neat.
It's a really simple game to understand. You can pick up the sort of language of it real quick. It's not as difficult as Fire Pro Wrestling. Fire Pro Wrestling is a very difficult wrestling game to master. It requires a weird bit for as simple as it is and as simple as it looks. It's a pretty hard game to sort of really truly master. This one takes that sort of Fire Pro gameplay and sort of shrinks it down into like a 2-button experience, because there were Fire Pro games on the Game Boy Advance, and the Game Boy Advance Fire Pro game was really, really good, but it came out 4 years after this. So it's wild that to play this game. And it's like, it's not particularly good now. I don't think so. There's been better wrestling games, obviously, since when this came out. The N64 wrestling games were already a hit. Like, you already had the 2 WCW games. WrestleMania 2000 was out, and No Mercy was just around the corner. And those are the sort of pinnacle of the franchise. The Switch has some wrestling games. In terms of if you just wanted a wrestling game on the Switch, your choices are the forever broken WWE 2K18.
Choice is not that. Wrestling Empire, I think, is in there.
Wrestling Empire is on there. Arcade Action Wrestling, which used to be the Chikara wrestling game, but now it's that. And this and NES Pro Wrestling. So those are your options. I think this one plays the best out of all the wrestling games on the Switch.
Better than 2K18, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, well, because 2K18 runs at 15 frames a second.
Sure.
And they are literally never gonna update it.
No.
They gave up on it. They pushed out one patch that kind of fixed stability. But if you have a tag team match, it literally runs at 10 frames per second. It's a mess. It's one of the most disgustingly optimized games I'd ever seen. And it's not like they haven't put out the NBA games play pretty great. On the Switch. The NBA 2K games. I like playing the NBA 2K games on the Switch. I think they're really good. So I don't know what happened with that game, but this game's fun. If you just want a wrestling game, it's inexpensive. It plays well. It looks like wrestling. It feels like wrestling, and it has 2 really good gimmick matches. WWE games haven't had a casket match available in them in decades at this point, like PlayStation 2 era SmackDown games. So I love this game. I don't, it's not for everyone, but if it's, as a wrestling fan, I think you would get a lot of enjoyment out of it. As a fighting game fan, definitely not. It doesn't have that same, and it doesn't have a lot of like iconic stuff for it. Like I can recommend like, you know, the Match of the Millennium or whatever, because it's basically like a cute little King of Fighters game. It plays like a King of Fighters game or whatever. Like this doesn't play like any of that. It's pretty slow, but it's just got enough meat on it that I think anyone that's a wrestling fan could really, really, really enjoy this. But those are the only people that enjoy this, I think. So, yeah, great out the. I'm glad to be back in the Neo Geo Pocket Color universe. I have no idea what else they're going to bring, but
they have the quality's been pretty high for the games that they've put out.
Yeah,
which is,
well, the Neo Geo Pocket Color didn't have many games, but the ones they did have, there weren't a lot of stinkers.
That's cool.
I would like to see them partner up with Sega and get the Sonic game out, because the Sonic game was actually pretty good. It was just like a weird demake of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but it plays really well.
The movie?
Yeah, the movie. Exactly. It's Jim Carrey's
They demade the current Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie back in 1998, which is just bizarre that they did it 25 years ahead of time. Well, very cool.
Yeah.
Big Bang Pro Wrestling.
There we go.
I have also been playing a game, surprisingly, for FOMO. Let me see if this works. Let me play the trailer first. So a game came out back in, or it was announced, like, I think it was back in Gamescom, or really kind of shown off at Gamescom, called Time Loader. And it's by a company. I'm trying to get the name of the company here. I'll be really bad because I can't remember the name of the company. The name of the company, the developer is Post Meta Games. So it's a single player game. Why isn't the video sharing? Because I probably didn't click the correct button. Here we go. Time Loader. Here is the Switch launch trailer. I'm playing it on Switch because it has just launched for consoles and Switch, right? And so game I think initially launched for Steam back in like November, but they just kind of pumped it out everywhere. It's got this dark-ish story. It's like a really melancholy story. You saw that. So here, stuff you find out at the very beginning.
This is a bizarre trailer, man.
It really is. It's like, look at the kid's eyes. And then look at the kid. The kid loves to, walk and play. Oh, he's falling, and guess what? Now, as an adult, he's in a wheelchair. He's wheelchair bound. So, but in a weird way, this is almost like anti accessibility and anti, some of that stuff. But I get the point. The point is, if you could change the past to make your life different, how would you do it? Or what would you do? Or how do you convert that into a game? And in this case, you see this little device right there. That is essentially a time machine, or it's linked to a time machine. So there's a time machine. Looks a lot like a toaster. I think by design, this thing's a toaster. And so the kid, sends his little device. The time.
It looks like a microwave oven, Dally.
Did I say toaster?
You said
some
toaster.
Toasters are anyways,
yeah, man, I got you.
You got me. A microwave oven. Look at that cat. Sends his little device back in time and controls it from the future to do certain things to change his life in little tiny ways. Look, you can even check out some cool stuff on computers there.
Okay.
So you're going back in time with this device, and you're kind of seeing the past with like that aquarium, when the aquarium was full of life and it's got some cool stuff, and now the aquarium's kind of dead. So, and this game has you going back and forth in time a little bit, I guess. I don't want to spoil too much, but what I really kind of enjoy about it is that It's sorry, I tried to explain the trailer and it didn't work very well. It's a physics-based puzzle game. In that, let me stop that right there, and let me see if my videos work, because I spent time before this episode getting this stuff going. Okay, let me see here. I'll play this one first. Can you guys hear me now? Oh, I can't unmute you guys. Anyways, it's a physics-based puzzler. I'm gonna stop this. Forget that. That didn't work. I'm gonna share the actual video file now instead of doing that. So here we go. Why did that not share? What is going on here, man? This is all messed up. It's all kind of messed up. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way, which is just click a button and
we could hear you fine while you were talking over the video.
Yeah,
You could just do the commentary.
I could just do the commentary.
We don't need to chime in.
Here, I'm gonna. Okay, it's all messed up now. I can't even share anything. I'll share it afterwards. I promise. It is a. I've messed up StreamYard. Okay, anyways. You guys are gonna love this, as it kicks me out right now, and I have to log back in. So give me just 1 second.
Oh boy, it's always something.
I mean, with him, sure.
That's that's
a Dolly special.
You saw how it was playing what the dub with him. You saw it with the
hey guys, your boy is back. Look at that.
Oh yeah, no, man, we were just reminiscing about how good you were at what the dub.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. I'm gonna scrub that part. Don't worry. So it's a physics-based puzzler. You're kind of maneuvering this little dude around. Let me see if I can actually play it this time. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it this way. You're maneuvering this little dude around, and you have to kind of solve these little things that are kind of popping up. Oh, I have to actually hit the play button. These little things that are popping up, like you'll get a note that says, "I need you to grab the screwdriver." So you'll go grab the screwdriver, and you'll take the little buggy over to a plate on the wall that you have to unscrew, which kind of interesting. Let me turn the volume down here. So in this case, I got trapped in the sink, and I had to get back to the other side, which is kind of interesting. So you're kind of maneuvering around. It's got a very cool little art style, which I like. It's got this sort of realistic toy-ish art style. I had to get back to the living room in this case, but you can kind of climb on things, this little buggy, and it's very basic in that you only control this guy's arm, and you can move kind of left,
directional,
and right. Yeah, directional, and you can jump. So it's a puzzle platformer, and you solve puzzles by grabbing stuff with the arm, holding on to it. You can kind of launch some things and throw them around a little bit. You can, here, I'm going to play another of the videos. I'm actually going to play these videos. You can do a lot of interesting things, I think, from the physics standpoint. And I think that's what really sort of gets me excited about this game from playing it. I've probably put about 2.5 hours into it right now. And I've enjoyed every minute of it, I gotta say, which is a really weird thing to say about these types of puzzle games. Usually you kind of get bored, but or it gets repetitive. In this case, you do go back to some of the same scenes. Like here, I had to avoid waking up the cat and jump around, and you'll get a little highlight thing that pops up like that. Here, I'll show you here. You'll see the little thing pop up highlighted as I get up here, and bam. That means as I jump, I can grab onto this guy and swing across onto the other side of this table, right, or whatever. And there's all these little things you can interact with in the environment. I could take that ball. This ball, for instance, wasn't here. It was actually located over here somewhere. And I had to scoot it around this way when I was heading out this way to go into the kitchen, knock the ball over here so I could use it later on to climb back up onto this this sort of entryway. So
I got a small little question for you.
Yeah.
How heavy does the little guy feel? Like when
what's real interesting. There you go. That's kind of cool. It feels like an RC car. Like weight wise, they got the physics down. I feel perfectly for like RC car weight. which is it feels like the playing it feels like the wheels are rubberized, so they have a little bit of a bounce. You'll see right here, and you kind of land. See, they bounce a little bit. The claw feels, as you're controlling it, does kind of feel like you're controlling a toy buggy. It's an RC car. You're doing it from the future, but you're able to kind of do stuff here. And oh, by the way, in the background, there's a singing fish, which they include there, which I thought it was so cool. But scale wise, I love that they nailed the scale and the feel and the physics. And I think for a game like this, that is so important because
every once in a while you get like a physics-based game where the thing that you're using to manipulate the physics feels inconsistent.
Exactly.
So you never feel like you like I saw you trying to like get back up on top of something by using your arm and pulling yourself up. And there are times where you're playing it. It's like, this worked like a level ago. And now it's as if the weight of this car changed and I've done nothing. So you can never really get a good feel of it. But as long as it's consistent,
it's very consistent. It's very consistent. And I love the I don't think you're supposed to use the hand to pick yourself up, but using the physics in the game, I have oftentimes used this little arm to get myself up onto areas. Like right there, you can get caught pretty easily.
They have to know when you're basing everything around physics,
like right
you're
there.
going to be trying to do that. That's what caught me on it. I'm like, because
they have to know. Yeah, they purposely made that little the cat house just tall enough where you're going to not be able to get up there. But there are instances where if you get enough speed going, then you can kind of hop up on there. You can get enough speed going, and you just angle your arm the right way. And it's already happened in a couple areas where inadvertently I was literally just messing around with the physics in the game, the little buggy. I mean, he's already lifting up off the ground here a little bit. And I was able to get onto things that I probably shouldn't have been able to get onto. And it's at least not yet, which reminds me of stuff that you do in like Metroid games where you're, especially like Metroid Dread, where you can kind of break the game and get to aspects ahead of time that you're not necessarily supposed to. But it's really charming, and it's I'm really enjoying it, and I love the layout of this house, and I love the time hopping stuff, and I love to see how different things affect, because there are multiple endings to this game from what I've kind of found out. The game is from, I think it was originally released in November, I want to say, and just do a Google search. There are multiple endings, multiple stuff. Essentially, how you approach these little puzzles will affect it'll affect the story at the by the end of the game. Like you'll come across a notepad, for instance, with stuff scribbled on it, which you can completely miss it. But if you do happen to grab it and kind of relocate it to another place in the story, he may find that the next time he's in the house, as opposed to this thing just being under a bed or under a table or something. And it could affect, a little bit of the plot later on. So it's a really neat mix of physics-based, kind of simple puzzle platforming with the narrative aspect, with kind of, again, really weirdly dark story that's built into it as sort of the backbone. But if there's anything that I'm bummed about, again, I think if you got anything that this is on, which is everything, I think, as of the last couple of weeks, I would actually suggest looking into it because it's that charming. I'm a little bummed that there's no like gyro or motion controls for the Switch. I would love to take the Switch and tilt certain things to get like a little bit more accuracy, especially with physics-based stuff. There are other games on the Switch and on like PlayStation and on other other types of similar things where you can actually start to rotate the controller a little bit and get a little bit more accuracy, or even mess with the physics that way. And you can't do that in this game. And so I think it's a little bit of a bummer that you have the platform that can do that, but you don't take full advantage of it, especially in a game like this. But Time Loader, it's charming. It's very easy to understand and pick up. And it's got enough it's got enough to do in the game where even some of the stuff that might seem repetitive actually isn't, because you're kind of feeding this loop over and over again. So yeah, I think it's actually a really cool travel game, on a plane trip, on a plane ride, which we're going to be on here in a little bit, a couple weeks here. I think it's an awesome game for like trips, a little bit like car rides or plane rides and stuff. I think it might fit in perfectly with that. So anyways, Time Loader, really cool. Definitely perfect on handheld. I don't know if I'd want to play it I did play it on the big screen, but I loved it on the handheld because it just kind of feels like I'm actually controlling an RC car in the past. So yeah, there you go. That's it. I think it's always been. I think we're look at that 105, man.
That's the new layout of the program.
That is.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah, keeping everything nice and concise and clean. This is good, guys. This is like the third week in a row.
Well, we have to get our bullshit into a concise because we have 2 panels coming up and they're only an hour. We have to just get that.
Which this is great. Yeah, it's true. We're training for these panels. I've got to get the Wordle logo to you. I'm finally free this weekend. There are no engagements.
You said that like the last 3 weekends.
And then stuff pops up. This is the first weekend. I looked at the calendar. 0 stuff. We have dropping my daughter off at her first Dungeons and Dragons event that she's going to.
Oh boy!
Super excited. That's tomorrow. Super excited about that. Like the teens are having their events.
The teens are at it again.
Teens are at it again.
It's Sonic the Hedgehog 2 weekend. You don't have any plans to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
She doesn't want to go, and I don't know if I feel comfortable enough being a 43-year-old dude walking into Sonic the Hedgehog by myself, which I've done in the past. Admittedly, I've seen movies like this all the time, but
well, I'm gonna be a 37-year-old dude going to see it by myself tomorrow night. So
nice, excellent. So I may end up doing something similar, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah. Excellent stuff. So I'll get that stuff put together for you. But
so next week is movie review week. So
I love that. That's perfect. Perfect. That's your content. But you can find us sidequesting.com, sidequesting on YouTube, sidequesting. Every time I look at the YouTube page, YouTube is actually sidequesting. It's not sidequesting TV. I don't know why I thought it was sidequesting TV on YouTube. Maybe I don't even know. Who knows? Whatever.
Sidequesting TV is Twitch.
SideQuesting TV is Twitch. We know that much at least. But yeah, you can find us just SideQuesting. Go to sidequesting.com. Find me right there. I had to get over this guy. Find me right there at Idamowski. Find him at Taylor Bliss. And you can find.
I got rid of my Twitter handle.
He got rid of his.
Yeah.
So none of you.
Wait, I mean, he's only Holderhausen now.
Yeah, he's a Holderhausen.
Follow us. Join the Discord or your
Yes. Seriously, I love it. Actually, come to find out, I did not know this, but Raw is in Detroit on Monday. So now I'm like, can I get some tickets?
Don't give Vince McMahon money.
No, that's true. My company might have sweet tickets.
Well,
yeah, see if I can
fly to AEW, coward.
That's in June, and I will be at that.
It was just in Boston like this week.
Idiots.
Like if it was 2 weeks later.
Oh my god! Imagine if it overlapped. Imagine.
That would be fantastic. All right, Tony Khan. I know you watch this show, my dude. Next time, just line it up.
Friend of the show, Tony Khan.
Friend of the show, Tony Khan.
Carolina, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the AEW.
He's going to buy SideQuesting. That's who was going to buy SideQuesting back in the day was Tony Khan. We'll see you all in the next episode of the SideQuest. Bye-bye.
Peace.